Right now on News 3 this morning, Sunday, we now know where the smell of natural gas came from in that Sun Prairie evacuation of dozens of homes Friday night. Plus, it's the final day of the state's first ever tax holiday. How to add to your shopping list to save some cash. And on Wisconsin, the Badgers home opener is less than a month away. How local veterans and their families can get to see the first game for free.
This is News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning Sunday. It is August 5th. I'm Josh Breiter and we've got meteorologist Chris Reese back with us this morning. And unfortunately, you've got the humidity with you as well.
The humidity is with me, as is the heat as we go through today. Already, if you look outside, honestly, it's a beautiful start to the day. Some clouds off to the west. Now, we're going to see some of that cloud cover increase into the afternoon. That is a sign of things to come later on. But we're going to see those temperatures into the low 90s for highs later on. Already 75 degrees. Winds out of the south and southwest at 6. Check out that dew point at 67. That's really going to feel muggy as you begin to step on out. 70s and 60s for all of us across south central Wisconsin. Most folks are into the low and mid 70s already this morning. Now here's going to be the heat index. By the time we get you towards about 2 o'clock or so, it'll likely be feeling like anywhere between 90, 95, 96, some folks even up to 97 degrees. So that's going to be what we really need to watch. But clouds will then increase again as we get you into the afternoon and evening. That is ahead of a chance for some showers and thunderstorms. There is a marginal to slight risk for severe thunderstorms overnight and into your Monday. So of course I'll be breaking all of that down as we get you into main weather. Traffic wise right now, things do continue to run smooth. Here's a live look at the Beltline and John Nolan, and it looks about how it should for a Sunday morning, as does the rest of the Beltline and really Dane County as a whole. No major issues or delays if you're going to be out and about traveling early this morning.
On these humid mornings, you can always see the haze out there across the skyline. Ooh, nasty.
That's a key sign of the humidity out there.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
New this morning, Madison police are searching for an armed man in his early 20s who robbed a cab driver on the city's east side. It happened in the 800 block of North Thompson Road just before 2 o'clock this morning. Police say a man showed the 51-year-old cab driver a gun before running away on foot with an unknown amount of cash. The driver wasn't hurt. Anyone with information should call Madison Police or Madison Area Crime Stoppers. In Rock County, Janesville police are still looking for a man who broke into the Humane Society of Southern Wisconsin Thursday morning. A staff member went in about 7:30 to find broken glass. The suspect took cash drawers from the nonprofit. All of them were empty. However, an iPhone was stolen. With an increase in crime in Fitchburg, police there are trying to connect with the community. Officers held a crime prevention picnic at McKee Farms Park Saturday afternoon to meet with community members. It's Fitchburg's police department's version of National Night Out, a similar event that typically happens in early August across the country.
We really want to just be able to talk openly, honestly about absolutely everything we do. We want the kids to know that we're not bad people.
Other area organizations were also on hand to talk with people about how they can help them. We now know what caused the evacuation of 60 to 80 homes in Sun Prairie Friday night. A We Energy spokesperson tells News 3 the smell of gas came from a piece of machinery in a nearby gas station that was leaking natural gas. The call came in around 8:30 Friday night after the smell was reported near the intersection of Main Street and Whitetail in Sun Prairie. That's not far from the site of July's deadly gas explosion, leveling several downtown businesses. Between 60 and 80 homes were evacuated as a precaution. Sun Prairie fire officials said they didn't want to take any chances, and that's why they evacuated all homes within a half-mile of that site.
Obviously, with our recent incident, we're very concerned when situations like this happen, and so are our residents.
I was thinking my house could probably go on fire, so I was worrying I need to take lots of stuff.
Around midnight, families were given the all-clear to leave Sun Prairie High School where they had been waiting and go back home. A We Energy spokesperson said her company worked to repair the piece of leaking equipment as quickly as possible. 6:34 right now. This weekend, a Middleton business is joining in on the effort to support victims of last month's explosion in downtown Sun Prairie. Middleton Jewelers brought in flavored ice on a very hot Saturday for customers looking for a different type of ice. 50% of 3 custom pieces the business sells is going to the Sun Prairie Relief Fund. The owners of the business say helping the Sun Prairie community fits into their mission.
We've always been a big believer in what, the more you give, the more you get, and it's, whether it's blessings or whatever it is, it's, we're very just, that's how we built our business, and so we just continue to do that, and, we've been very fortunate.
And you still have time to help victims. $600 of every piece of custom jewelry ordered by next Saturday will go to the fund. It's the final day of Wisconsin's first ever sales tax holiday, and if you haven't started school shopping yet, now is probably the time to do it. You can buy back-to-school items free from sales tax until midnight tonight. A reminder, school supplies and clothes have to be $75 or less, and computers have to be $750 or less. Governor Walker created the sales tax holiday back in April. Democrats, though, call it an election year gimmick. Wisconsin is now one of more than a dozen states having some sort of a break on sales tax. We're a little more than a week away from Wisconsin's summer primary, and the city of Beloit needs help making sure things go smoothly. The city's hiring between 50 to 200 election workers for the August 14th election. Election inspectors can make up to $170 to work that day. Shift work inside a polling location or at City Hall is paying $7.25 an hour, I should say. That's also available. The deadline to apply with the Beloit City Clerk and Treasurer's Office is this Wednesday. A separate application deadline for the November general election is October 5th. People who fly out of the Madison airport now have the chance to apply for the status that gets them through security a lot quicker. The TSA will help passengers sign up for its pre-check program in the ticket area over the next week. You need to sign up online first. You can see where on the bottom of your screen right now. If you're accepted, you can leave on your shoes and belt, keep your laptop in its case, and all liquids in your carry-on bag on the way to your gate. The pre-check membership is $85, lasting 5 years. The Madison Common Council Executive Committee will be meeting this week to fill an alder vacancy for the 3rd time in just a few weeks. District 13 Alder Sarah Estrich recently announced her resignation, which will go into effect this Wednesday. She joins former alders Mark Clear and Denise DeMarb, both resigning in the past month. The city took applications for Estrich's position through noon on Friday. Members of the committee will make their recommendation after reviewing the candidates Monday night. The full council will vote on the recommendation this Tuesday. A first alert traffic note for people in Rock County ahead of your Monday morning commute. Colley Road, east of I-90, will be closed Monday so Alliant Energy can relocate a gas line before the interstate construction project begins there. That closure right by the Staples store is expected to last through next weekend. Anyone looking to get to businesses on the west side of the interstate will be able to get there on Willowbrook Road. Crews will finally start building a steam tunnel on North Charter Street on the UW campus starting tomorrow. That will shut down North Charter from University to West Johnson starting at 7 o'clock Monday morning, lasting until late November. Traffic on West Johnson will also be narrowed to 2 lanes in the area just past the Wisconsin Institute for Discovery. That lane closure is only expected to last for a couple of weeks. Speaking of campus, there's a lottery underway for Wisconsin veterans to get free tickets to the Badgers home opener at the end of this month. Every year, the Department of Veterans Affairs offers 2 tickets to a number of veterans and a guest to go for free to a Wisconsin football game. This season's game is the school's first ever Friday night game against Western Kentucky on August 31st. If you're a veteran and are interested, you can go to wizvetsports.com or call 608-266-0117 to enter. If you want to be one of the first 17,000 people to see the Milwaukee Bucks play in the Pfizer Forum, you can get your tickets starting tomorrow. The Bucks open their 2018 preseason there against the Chicago Bulls on Wednesday, October 3rd. Tickets go on sale at 10 o'clock Monday morning. You can get them at bucks.com. Coming up on 6:40 this Sunday morning, another alert day is in the forecast today as we take a live look outside and another very muggy start to the day out there. Chris is tracking that heat, humidity, and storm chances heading into the work week in your full first alert forecast ahead. And a different kind of man's best friend. The emotional tale of a man and his beloved car reunited. A story you'll only hear on News 3 This Morning, Sunday.
Good morning to all of you. It's a muggy Sunday already out here, and it's going to get warmer as we go into the afternoon and evening. We could see those heat indices once again into the mid and upper 90s later on today. So do be aware of that as you begin to step on out. Temperatures right now are into the mid 70s, 75 for us here in Madison, 68 in Watoma. You'll notice it's the same story of essentially the 60s and 70s as you were stepping your way out. Now, we do have some cloud cover rolling into town from the west. It's from a group of showers and thunderstorms off to our south and west. Those should not make it into south central Wisconsin yet, but we will have another chance for some showers and thunderstorms later on. Again, it is humid. Dew points are into the upper 60s and low 70s, so that's why it's going to be that air that you can wear as you step outside and begin to feel that muggy feel out there. That's due to winds that are coming out of the south. This all ahead of a cold front that's going to move in, especially as we get you closer towards Monday. But for the rest of this afternoon, expect those temperatures to take off into the upper 80s and low 90s for highs for a lot of us going through the day. Here are those showers and thunderstorms back to the south and west. Most of that's going through parts of northeastern and eastern Iowa as of now, but that'll be falling apart as we go through the next couple of hours. And that's why I'm not too concerned about this. As you get to extreme western Wisconsin, some of you may get in on a shower or thunderstorm or at least see that lightning off in the distance, but there's not really a lot of fuel to get that into our part of the state. Now, later on tonight, that's a different story. As a cold front comes on through, that's where we should see more instability for the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms. In fact, we do have a marginal to slight risk here in Madison. That risk increases as you work your way back to the north and west. So as this cold front comes through, several clusters of showers and thunderstorms will move through the area, eventually giving way to some fairly nice weather as we get you towards the middle of next week. But let's go ahead and take you hour by hour through the rest of today. We should be fine, but overnight, especially across central and northern Wisconsin, we'll really see those chances for some strong showers and thunderstorms before we begin to clear things out. This afternoon, 90 degrees, breezy and humid. Heat in the seas again will be into the low, mid, and even upper 90s for some of us. Shower chances do linger through Monday. By Tuesday, there's a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms, but we really do begin to dry things out. But temperatures will stay in the 80s as we go through the next 10 days.
I can handle temps in the low 80s. That's just fine.
Yeah, as long as the humidity is not overwhelming, really, it's not that bad.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure, Josh.
6:45 right now. It's clear from a benefit held in his honor this weekend in Edgerton that Jeff Christensen is well loved. The Stoughton man has ALS, meaning he can't move or speak as quickly as he used to. But after a surprise from his family, our Madeline O'Neill shows us how he's not slowing down.
He's a fun guy.
For someone as quick-witted as Jeff Christensen,
Always funny, making people laugh.
it's hard to watch him get slowed down by a condition like ALS.
Some things, are okay, other things aren't. His speech is very slow, which he hates the worst of anything because he's a prankster.
Jeff is also a fast driver.
I knew this car meant a lot to him.
At one time so fast, he had to pump the brakes.
He put it away when he was younger because he got too wild with it.
This 1976 Pontiac Trans Am has sat still for decades.
He's talked about it a lot.
Last registered in 1986.
Just the crazy stuff he used to do in it.
Well, that's until Jeff's grandson, Cord Wardell, had a wild idea.
Just popped in my head. I don't know why.
On July 1st, he and his stepdad began fixing up the beloved car.
We had it fired up the first day we got it back. It's just unreal.
And from there, it was full speed ahead.
It was a real miracle.
5 weeks of work later, at a benefit in his honor, the ride Jeff thought only lived in his past pulled up right in front of him.
What did you do? Huh? That is awesome.
I can't even talk. Is it everything that you remember it to be?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
He says he's happy just sitting in his pride and joy.
It took all I had not to cry. I'm overwhelmed. I'm thankful.
But that's not all he'll be doing.
Unbelievable.
Love a perpetual grin on your face, honey.
I do.
There's no going back after an ALS diagnosis.
Fantastic.
But as Christensen will tell you,
I got one hell of a family.
you can keep moving forward.
This is so unreal. I love this car.
That was Madeline O'Neill reporting. Fixing up a car that hasn't been driven in years is a lot of work. It took putting in a new radiator and water pump along with getting the transmission rebuilt. Jeff says his first plan for the Trans Am is to take it for a ride on the interstate. Well, there is much more ahead here on News 3 This Morning Sunday. Coming up, from devastation to domination. We'll hear from a woman who knows her life is slowly coming to an end, how she's doing something good in the battle against breast cancer. Welcome back at 6:52 this morning. People dealing with a terminal disease say it can be like walking a fine line, a tightrope of hope and reality. Instead of wallowing in grief or in why me, Mary Guzzi is almost embracing it. She found a new purpose in the life she has left. Charlotte DeLesse says her focus is to do something good for others like her, and she's diving in head first.
It's serene. It's calm. It's simply beautiful. It's one thing to look at a lake. It's another thing to swim across it. Mary Guz is swimming for her life.
And I can swim for hours.
Mary has metastatic breast cancer, stage 4. She's dying. 113 women die of METs every day.
If a plane crashed with 113 people on it every single day, we would be up in arms. Money would be thrown at the airplane industry to find out what's going on. And this is happening, and we're not getting money. So that needs to stop.
Mary and her husband, Rob, decided to do something.
How do we now change the sort of the ball game to give more options for people like Mary?
We need research monies into the right hands.
In fact, less than 7% of all research monies go into metastatic breast cancer research, even though nearly 30% of women diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer will develop METs. 30%.
It is scary. And when I have met with women who have initial breast cancer, I'm their worst nightmare.
So Mary decided to swim.
And I have swum 40 lakes, or 40 bodies of water. And we've raised a lot of money for the UW Carbone Cancer Center.
Her goal is to raise $1 million and a whole lot of awareness.
There are people like me all over the country that are raising awareness, and I've connected with all those women. You're hearing our voices more, I think, because people say, you know, we don't want to die.
To understand the impact, the concept of those women dying of METs, Mary staged a die-in.
It was a very moving tribute. You know, there's a lot of young women, especially, out there with this disease. They die very quickly.
From swimming to blog writing to meeting newly diagnosed women.
That's something that you do as a human being. You help others.
Her acts of awareness even got her all the way to the heart of Times Square. But she says it's not just about her.
I don't know if the research will keep up with me and new drugs will come out, or if what I'm doing will help my daughter or my granddaughter.
It's selfless service, one stroke, one lake at a time.
It's that fine line of between living and dying, and you know, I'm living with this cancer, but I'm also dying with it too.
We'd like to thank both Mary and Rob for doing something good. If you'd like to learn more about Mary, her swims, metastatic breast cancer, and how you can help, please check out her website, onewomanmanylakes.org. And if you know of a person, a business, or organization doing something good, you can nominate them right now at channel3000.com/do-something-good. Well, time right now is 6:56 this morning. There's still a full hour of News 3 this morning, Sunday ahead. Coming up, we'll have a look at your top stories, including the armed man Madison police are looking for after an overnight robbery. But first, here's a preview of what's ahead this morning on an all-new For the Record.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Neil Heinen, and this morning on For the Record, we're going to talk about the city's response to a spike in opioid overdoses that led Madison police to call the matter a public health crisis. There are a lot of resources being devoted to prevention and treatment, but there's still a growing concern that we need to do more. I'll be joined by Dane County and Madison Public Health Supervisor Julia Olson and Skye Tikkanen, the Drug Poisoning Prevention Program Manager for Safe Communities, Madison-Dane County. That's coming up this morning at 10:30 on WISC.
The president versus a professional basketball player. What got the First Lady involved in the Twitter beef between Trump and LeBron James?
This is News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning Sunday. It is August 5th, 7 o'clock on the dot right now. I'm Josh Breiter. Chris will have his forecast shortly, but first let's get right to today's headlines. Happening overnight, Madison police are searching for an armed man in his early 20s who robbed a cab driver on the city's east side. It happened in the 800 block of North Thompson Road just before 2 o'clock this morning. Police say a man showed the 51-year-old cab driver a gun before running away on foot with an unknown amount of cash. The driver wasn't hurt, but police are still investigating this morning. Anyone with information should call Madison Police or Madison Area Crime Stoppers. We now know what caused the evacuation of 60 to 80 homes in Sun Prairie Friday night. A We Energy spokesperson tells News 3 the smell of gas came from a piece of machinery in a nearby gas station that was leaking natural gas. The call came in around 8:30 Friday night after the smell was reported near the intersection of Main Street and Whitetail in Sun Prairie. You'll recall that's not far from the site of July's deadly gas explosion that leveled part of downtown. Sun Prairie officials said they didn't want to take any chances, so that's why they evacuated all homes within a half-mile of the site. If you haven't started school shopping yet, today is probably the time to do it if you want to save some money. You can buy back-to-school items free from sales tax until midnight tonight. School supplies and clothes have to be $75 or less, and computers have to be $750 or less. Governor Walker created the sales tax holiday back in April. Democrats, though, call it an election year gimmick. Wisconsin is now one of more than a dozen states having some sort of a break on sales tax. You have the chance this weekend to show your support for the men and women who keep our city safe. The first ever First Responders Bowl is today at Stevens Field. Madison police officers will be playing members of the fire department in a flag football game to raise money for youth sports. It's free to attend, but proceeds from concessions will go towards East High School Athletics program and the Richard Garner Memorial Scholarship Fund. Kickoff is set for 5:30 tonight. And Chris, if folks are heading out today, they're going to want to remember drinking lots of water.
That's right, Josh. Today will be another hot and humid day, just like we saw yesterday. We'll get in on a little bit more cloud cover this morning, though. Here's a live look towards the west. We see some clouds on the horizon. I'll show you where those are coming from in just a second. 74 degrees the temperature right now. Dew points well into the upper 60s, and some folks do have those dew points into the 70s. And that is certainly a humid feel that you'll feel as you step outside this morning. 75 in Janesville, 74 here in Madison, of course. And you'll notice most of these temperatures are pretty much in the 70s, some 60s as you work your way towards the north and west. But that heat index, given the humidity as we go into the afternoon, that's going to be the big changer. It'll likely feel well into the low and maybe even upper 90s for some of us at times. So that's why we'll want to keep a close eye on that. Now, this morning round of cloud cover should begin to break up initially, but then we'll have more cloud cover coming in into the afternoon and evening. That's where we find a slight risk of strong to severe thunderstorms from the north woods down through parts of Dane County. Marginal as you work your way to the south and east. This is a level 1 and a level 2 out of 5 for strong to severe thunderstorms overnight, with the cold front coming on into the picture. Of course, in Maine weather, I'll be breaking down more of the timing and impacts on that. Here's a live look at the Beltline and John Nolan. It's moving along smoothly as it should for a Sunday morning. No issues being reported on the Beltline or downtown or across Dane County as a whole this morning. So maybe you're traveling to Janesville or from Sauk City to Middleton. All of those travel times should be posted at their normal speeds as you head out this morning. Josh?
All right, Chris, thank you. 7:04 is your time right now. First Lady Melania Trump appears to be trying to calm down the Twitter war between the president and LeBron James. Her spokesperson released a statement saying the First Lady would be willing to visit the new school James opened in Ohio. Weijia Zhang explains what prompted President Trump's latest outburst.
I'm truly excited.
NBA star LeBron James appeared on CNN this week to talk about opening a new school for disadvantaged youth in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. But the conversation quickly turned to President Trump.
He's dividing us, and what I noticed over the last few months, that he's kind of used sport to kind of divide us, and that's something that I can't relate to.
The president responded on Twitter last night, writing LeBron James was just interviewed by the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon. He made LeBron look smart, which isn't easy to do. Adding to the drama, today the president traveled to campaign for a GOP congressional candidate in James's home state of Ohio. Governor John Kasich chimed in. Rather than criticizing King James, we should be celebrating him for his charity work and efforts to help kids. In a statement, a spokeswoman for First Lady Melania Trump said it looks like LeBron James is working to do good things on behalf of our next generation, and that Mrs. Trump would be open to visiting James's school.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field?
The president has tackled other professional athletes and teams in the ongoing battle over kneeling during the national anthem. In June, he disinvited Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, to the White House. James weighed in at the time while playing in the NBA Finals.
I mean, I know no matter who wins this series, no one wants to invite anyways.
A Packers great is taking the national stage this weekend. After 45 years, 82-year-old Jerry Kramer earned his place in the Football Hall of Fame. He unveiled his gold bust with his daughter Alicia, who spearheaded the campaign to get her dad into the Hall of Fame. Kramer talked about his journey to the NFL, starting from his high school career in Idaho, where he said he wanted to play fullback, but was going to be sitting on the bench, so he went with guard. Kramer reminisced all the way to his days of playing for Vince Lombardi, who he quoted in his speech.
Success in life is not so much a matter of chance as it is a matter of choice. We choose to do the right thing, and we choose not to do the right thing. So a great deal in life is a matter of choice. Coach Lombardi, to sum it all up, after the game is over, stadium lights are out, parking lot's empty, you're back in the quiet of your room, championship ring is on the dresser. The only thing left at this time is for you to lead a life of quality and excellence and make this old world a little bit better place because you were in it.
Among Kramer's honors, he's a two-time Super Bowl champion, three-time NFL champion, and a first-time first-team All-Pro. The heat sure isn't scaring off athletes from the CrossFit Games here in Madison. Men and women are running, swimming, and working out to compete for the title Fittest on Earth. It is the final day of the 5-day competition, which officials expect 70,000 people to see in person. The games are also expected to generate around $12 million in spending across Dane County. With the heat index reaching the lower 90s, staying safe is a concern, though.
A lot of ice, a lot of water. We are prepared for the heat today. I see a lot of big straw hats on some of the visitors here, so we're getting ready for it.
The hot weather's great. I'll take that any day. It was way better than the rain we had last year. And come out, it's a blast.
Coming up in about 10 minutes here on News 3 This Morning Sunday, we'll be joined in studio by an organizer of this year's games to find out what we can expect during this final day of competition. 7:08 this morning, start the countdown. The Badgers home opener is less than 1 month away. How you can win free tickets. And it's hard to believe, but basketball season is right around the corner too. How you can be one of the first fans to see the Bucks play on their new court. Thanks for watching News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good morning and happy Sunday to all of you. It is a humid morning as you begin to step out, but we do have the sunshine, so that is, of course, always a welcome sight around here. Temperatures are into the 70s as you head out the door this morning. 74 for us here in Madison, 75 for our friends in Janesville, but you notice all of south central Wisconsin is in the 70s this morning, 60s as you get closer to the North Woods. We do have dew points that are very high and into the upper 60s and low 70s for a lot of folks. That's the reason that it's mild, but that's also the reason that it is going to feel so sticky as you step outside. Check out the dew point of 70 over in Mineral Point, 71 the dew point in Watertown right now. This atmosphere with the heat and the humidity is going to be prime for some showers and thunderstorms later, along with those heat indices that are going to be well into the 90s as we get you into the afternoon. Now, there are some showers and thunderstorms crossing over towards places like Crawford and Grant County right now. All of those counties that are right along the Mississippi River Valley. We'll watch those as we go through the next couple hours, but it's mainly moving towards the south and east, and it should be losing some of that energy as it continues to traverse eastward. So eventually, that shower and thunderstorm complex will begin to decrease. You may see a few showers as you work your way to the west, but that really shouldn't make it into town. The bigger rain chance is going to be later on tonight and into your Monday. That's where we do have a marginal to slight risk of severe storms. That includes us right here in Madison. That's with the cold front that's going to be racing to the south and east over time, as it does so bringing several chances for some clusters of some showers and thunderstorms to move on through, not only tonight, but again as we get you throughout Monday. Let's go ahead and take you hour by hour. Here's that shower and thunderstorm cluster as we go into the overnight time period. Most of that will be to the north, but we'll see some showers and thunderstorms down here as well. And as we get you into Monday afternoon, we can't rule out that potential again. Also, this morning, 73 to 84 is how our temperatures will respond. We'll reach 84 right around noontime. Of course, it is going to be a muggy start. By this afternoon, 90 degrees with those heat indices into the low and mid and even upper 90s for some of us. We'll be warm tomorrow as well, but only into the 80s. Of course, we'll have more cloud cover, and that'll help keep things feeling a little bit cooler, though. 82 for your Tuesday. Wednesday looks dry at 83 as well. We're going to keep those temperatures, though, into the low 80s and even middle 80s as we go through the next 10 days. Next Saturday looks like a great day full of sunshine, low humidity, and temperatures in the 80s. But of course, we then warm things up by Monday of next week with temperatures in the upper 80s with some chances for some showers and thunderstorms headed next Monday into next Tuesday, Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
We've been asking you to share your morning with us. Check out this photo. Amy Curson sent us this picture saying, "This is how we beat the heat." Look at the little doggy right there. Thanks for sharing, Amy. What does your morning look like? Take a picture and post it right to the Channel 3000 Facebook page, or you can find us on Twitter or Instagram. Use the hashtag MyNews3Morning, and every morning we share our favorites right here on News 3 This Morning. 7:15 this morning. There's a lottery underway right now for Wisconsin veterans to get free tickets to the Badgers home opener at the end of this month. Every year, the Department of Veterans Affairs offers 2 tickets to a number of veterans and a guest to go for free to a Wisconsin football game. The season's game is the school's first ever Friday night game against Western Kentucky on August 31st. If you're a veteran and are interested, all you have to do is go to WISVetsSports.com or call 608-266-0117 to enter. If you want to be one of the first 17,000 people to see the Milwaukee Bucks play in the Pfizer Forum, you can get your tickets starting tomorrow. The Bucks open their 2018 preseason there against the Chicago Bulls on Wednesday, October 3rd. The game against the Minnesota Timberwolves the following week on Friday is the Bucks' 42nd annual MAC Fund game. Throughout the past 4 decades, that game has raised more than $1.5 million to support cancer research. Tickets go on sale 10 o'clock Monday morning. You can find them at bucks.com. The fittest man and woman on Earth will be crowned later today. What to expect for the final day of the CrossFit Games. Plus, why hitting soccer balls with your head is riskier for some players than others. And the new study that looks at drinking alcohol while breastfeeding. A look at some of the week's top health stories when News 3 This Morning Sunday returns.
Good morning. Temperatures are into the low and mid 70s already. Those dew points in the upper 60s is meaning things are going to feel very humid as you step out the door. There are some clouds streaming in from the west. That's a complex of some showers and thunderstorms across portions of Minnesota and Iowa. That should not have a big impact on our weather as we go through the morning. Temperatures will top out into the upper 80s and low 90s for those highs today, but given that dew points are going to be staying very high, it'll likely feel into the mid and even upper 90s for some of those highs this afternoon. So make sure that you drink plenty of water. By lunchtime, we'll see those temperatures right around 84 degrees, topping out right around 90 into the peak heating of the day with the heat index from 92 to 97. Now into the afternoon and evening, especially overnight and then into your Monday morning, there are chances for showers and thunderstorms. We'll be breaking down how severe they could be in a bit. Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. 7:20 is your time right now. On the Health Watch this morning, a new study in pediatrics suggests children's cognitive abilities may be affected when mothers drink while breastfeeding. Doctors in Australia found babies exposed to alcohol through breast milk may demonstrate a reduction in cognitive scores at ages 6 to 7. The risk was even greater in mothers who drink regularly or binge drink. However, the impact on children seemed to diminish as the kids got older. For many people, summertime cookouts aren't complete without hamburgers and hot dogs, but for some, that isn't the case anymore after a string of tick bites. Doctors in Tennessee say there's been a jump in red meat allergy cases due to increased awareness. The allergy can develop after a bite from the Lone Star tick. The allergy was first discovered within the past 15 years and can change a person's lifestyle completely. When people with the bite eat red meat, they wake up in the middle of the night with hives, swelling, and breathing problems. Hitting soccer balls with your head may be more risky for female players than males. A new study in the journal Radiology looked at about 50 female and 50 male soccer players. Researchers found women showed more extensive changes to brain tissue after repeated heading. They found 8 brain regions damaged by soccer heading in women and only 3 in men. Some of the fittest people in the world are wrapping up a very busy week in Madison with the very first round of CrossFit competitions today, or the final round rather. The fittest man and woman will be crowned later this afternoon, and it's been a busy few days of the games for everyone involved, including vendor Hannibal Negrin. He joins us now, and thanks so much for waking up with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So talk a little bit about, obviously this week is a big week as you as a vendor.
Yes, so I'm with Better Than Coffee High Energy Bars. We're a all-natural plant-based vegan bar with 100 milligrams of caffeine that comes from the guarana berry from South America, which has been known to give energy and mental focus, alertness effect as opposed to coffee beans, and has maca for sustained energy. And it's a fantastic product that we've been here at the CrossFit Games, and people have been pretty popular with it, with the competitors and spectators alike.
Obviously, this week is a big week being the CrossFit Games,
yes.
And CrossFitters are very picky with what they're eating. So kind of talk about why you guys choose to be at the CrossFit Games and talk about your product a little bit.
Yes, you know, CrossFitters are really particular about what they put into their bodies. Carbs, sugar, anything of that nature. And so our bars are only 100 calories, very low sugar profile. Our cranberry has only 5 grams of sugar. And the carbs are relatively low, about 5 grams of net carbs. So it's a fantastic product for CrossFitters and anyone who is an athlete who's looking to make sure that their macros are all in line.
And what's kind of important, I know everyone's always looking, it's not just about what you're doing for physical activity, but it is the intake into your body.
Yes, you gotta make sure you feel your body, but at the same time, make sure that you're not putting too much high calorie or high sugar so that your body responds correctly, but also you don't gain any fat, you know?
So final day of the competition today. So obviously you guys are still there. If people are interested in coming and checking you guys out, where can they find you?
You can come to our booth. We're in the vendor pavilion at 212.
All right, and I'm guessing you guys have a website or Facebook page or something like that?
Yeah, come and check us out at betterthancoffee.com, and on our social media is at BTC Bars on Instagram, and we're also Facebook Better Than Coffee.
All right, well, hey, thank you so much for waking up with us this morning, and good luck and stay cool out there today.
Yes, I will, thank you.
All right, thank you. And if you've missed any of the action or would like to relive the excitement, you can watch the CrossFit Games on TV. We'll be airing a special showing at 11 this morning right here on WISC-TV 3 after an all-new For the Record. For those of you inspired by the athleticism you're seeing on TV or in person at the Alliant Energy Center, Reebok is hosting a number of free fitness classes all month long. There are free yoga classes at the Union at 9 a.m. every Saturday this month. A free boot camp will be held on campus this Thursday, the 9th, and next Thursday, the 16th. Still to come, from working out to eating out. Months after closing its doors, a popular Middleton bake shop is back open. This time with a new menu and a new mission. In this month's Tastemaker segment, we'll hear from the Bloom Bake Shop owner as she prepares to serve more than just sweets. That story when News 3 This Morning Sunday continues. Tis the season for back-to-school savings. While you'll want to head to the store today to save big on backpacks, notebooks, and computers ahead of the new school year.
This is News 3 This Morning Sunday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning Sunday. Coming up on 7:30 on this August 5th. I'm Josh Breiter. Chris will have your hot and steamy forecast in just a moment, but first let's get right to today's headlines. Happening overnight, Madison police are searching for an armed man in his early 20s who robbed a cab driver on the city's east side last night. It happened in the 800 block of North Thompson Road just before 2 o'clock this morning. Police say a man showed the 51-year-old cab driver a gun before running away on foot with an unknown amount of cash. The driver wasn't hurt. Anyone with information should call Madison Police or Madison Area Crime Stoppers. The Madison Common Council Executive Committee will be meeting this week to fill an alder vacancy for a third time in just a few weeks. District 13 Alder Sarah Eskridge recently announced her resignation, which will go into effect this Wednesday. She joins former alders Mark Clear and Denise DeMarb in resigning in the past month. The city took applications for Estrich's position through noon on Friday. Members of the committee will make the recommendation after reviewing the candidates Monday night. The full council will vote on the recommendation this Tuesday. A first alert traffic note for people living in Rock County heading into the work week. Colley Road east of I-90 will be closed tomorrow so Alliant Energy can relocate a gas line before the interstate construction project begins there. That closure right by the Staples store is expected to last until the weekend. Anyone looking to get to businesses on the west side of the interstate will be able to get there on Willowbrook Road. Happening tomorrow, crews will finally start building a steam tunnel on North Charter Street on the UW campus. That will shut down North Charter from University to West Johnson starting at 7 a.m. Monday, lasting until late November. Traffic on West Johnson will also be narrowed to 2 lanes in the area just past the Wisconsin Institute for Discovery. That lane closure is only expected to last for a couple of weeks. Heat and humidity continuing into our Sunday. No relief out there, Chris.
No relief out there immediately, but there will be some relief, especially as we get you into Monday. Now, we're going to start adjusting things on the fly here. Let's go ahead and get you started with what's going on. Already, we do have some cloud cover moving in from the west as of now. Temperatures out ahead of that are into the 70s, 74 here in Madison, 73 as you work your way back towards Mineral Point, 75 in Lone Rock. But I've been tracking this region of showers and thunderstorms moving out of southeastern Minnesota and northeastern Iowa for a couple of hours. And initially, based off the atmosphere, that we fully expected this to completely fall apart. The thing is, as I've watched this over the past couple of hours, it's not falling apart. So we're going to go ahead and update that on the fly. And for our western counties, we're going to throw in a rain chance for this morning as we continue to just take this hour by hour as it moves on in. It's got a lot of lightning with it as well. Now here's future track through the next couple of hours, and that really shows that that should by all means fall apart before it gets to Madison. And I do still expect that to do so simply because the atmosphere is not all that conducive to thunderstorms at this very moment. We'll see how that plays out as we go through the next couple of hours. Now into later on tonight and into tomorrow, the atmosphere will be very conducive for some thunderstorms. And of course, we do have a marginal to slight risk of showers and thunderstorms to be severe going into tomorrow morning. So do be aware of that as we go overnight and into your Monday. Traffic-wise, things do continue to run smoothly, so that is certainly fantastic news. No major issues showing up on the Beltline or downtown. Across the interstates of Dane County, things do look good outside of construction this morning. If you're headed to Janesville, that should take you about your normal time this morning. Josh?
All right, Chris, thank you. 7:32 right now. It is the final day of Wisconsin's first ever sales tax holiday, and if you haven't started school shopping yet, today is probably the time to do it. You can buy back-to-school items free from sales tax until midnight tonight. A reminder, school supplies and clothes have to be $75 or less, and computers have to be $750 or less.
I think people should be really kind of aware of are they really getting the best prices at that time frame, and what's the actual discount amount? So like in the state of Wisconsin, 5% is pretty much what we're dealing with in most areas depending on your municipality's local tax laws.
Governor Walker created the sales tax holiday back in April. Democrats call it an election year gimmick. Wisconsin is now one of more than a dozen states having some sort of break on sales tax. A beloved bakery is reopening in Middleton months after closing its doors. Bloom Bake Shop owner Anne-Marie Maitre opened a second location on Monroe Street about a year before deciding to temporarily close her original location to rethink the space. This week, she introduced her renovated Parmenter Street shop as Bloom Bindery, which is part bookstore, part bakery, serving a few of Bloom's signature treats and coffee. Madison Magazine's Andy Baleen sat down with Anne-Marie ahead of the opening to learn more about Bloom Bindery plans to serve tasty treats and support local literacy initiatives.
We definitely have plans for our Bloom bus to be utilized to do literacy programs, supporting existing nonprofits and partnering and bringing the bus either to reward initiatives with milk and cookie parties or sitting in a park just like this, having reading sessions, and whether those are tutoring sessions or reading for enjoyment sessions.
And you're partnering with Mystery to Me, is that right?
We are. Joanne and I became neighbors when we opened up on Monroe Street and completely hit it off. And we've done some different dinner programs and author events together, and it's worked really nice. So it was a really natural fit to say we want to bring books in. So we will have a small bookshelf with a curated selection of books that changes out monthly. Joanne will have a lot of great influence because she knows what is selling and what you're going to be excited about. And then I also want to just say, okay, here's some that you've got to read, and here's some of my favorite cookbooks, and share some things.
And the Literacy Network, did that just feel like a perfect fit for this?
Yeah, working with the nonprofits, since I come originally from a nonprofit background, I knew right away that I wanted to be a for-profit company that chooses to give a percentage of our profits away. That felt really important to me because I personally feel, what if all companies did that? If we all said, okay, well, here's our for-profit piece and here's our community piece. And then we have these great existing nonprofits in our community like Madison Reading Project, the Literacy Network. How can we help them? So it's really sitting down with them and finding out the areas that they could use some extra hands and extra awareness and extra help. And I think this year is going to be really exciting because I think it'll happen fairly organically to see what our spaces are best used for, to create awareness around literacy, what this little bus can do to get into neighborhoods and communities to assist already great programs.
But at the Middleton location, you still are going to offer cookies, is that right?
Cookies, and more cookies. We're going to do expanded offerings besides our peanut butter chocolate chunk. And
is that what these are here? Oh, they look so good.
They're delicious. That's my favorite one.
Well, what a cool dynamic kind of business that you're reopening now in Middleton.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us for this little picnic today.
You are welcome, and
Yes.
you can have a cookie.
Oh, I will.
I want a cookie. All right, coming up on 7:37 this morning, when we come back, it's one of Broadway classics, Hello, Dolly, and showing this weekend at Next in Oregon. Michael Bruno goes backstage of the Oregon Straw Hat Players production of Hello, Dolly when News 3 This Morning Sunday continues. It is the weekend in the 608.
And there's still a lot going on around the area today.
One of the most awarded and enduring country music artists takes the stage tonight at the Orpheum. Vince Gill is a 20-time Grammy winner who has sold more than 26 million albums. Among his top 10 hits, When I Call Your Name and I Still Believe in You. He'll take the stage at 7:30. Tickets start at $40.
And for musical theater lovers, the Tony Award-winning Broadway musical Hello, Dolly is being staged by the Oregon Straw Hat Players. That's the story of matchmaker Dolly Gallagher, Levi, in Yonkers, New York, around the turn of the century. Also, this musical follows the romantic and comedy exploits of Dolly, a woman who arranges things.
Our Michael Bruno managed to arrange a trip behind the scenes of the local production, taking us backstage.
Dressed like a dream, your spirit seemed to turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you look.
Everybody looks at Dolly bigger than life. It's the red dress, it's coming down the stairs. But what I really wanted to do was to get to know her. And I am so thrilled that I've had the chance to jump into this role, because it's one, thank the Lord, that you can't really age out of. So I would love to play it a couple more times. I look at this as kind of the beginning of her.
You get to act with your real life wife.
I do.
And what is that like?
We're living this day and night, so it's one of the first things we think about in the morning when we wake up, and it's the last thing we are talking about when we go to bed at night. So we've been able to use our own keyboard at home to do some rehearsals. We, of course, have been running lines at home to learn our lines, and in the car, here and there, and everywhere. So it's actually, it helps the process.
She owns a hat shop in New York, and she's really spunky and just has like a great love of life and is clever and fun.
Minnie Fay is a spunky hat shop assistant who has a ton of personality and a lot of excitement. And she's really quirky. She plays with her glasses a lot. She just follows everyone around as kind of a puppy dog kind of character.
There's a slick town Barnaby out there, full of shine and full of sparkle.
Cornelius is kind of going through somewhat of a quarter-life crisis in this show. He works for Horace Vandergelder. He's his chief clerk. He actually gets promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk at the beginning of the show, which kind of sparks his journey with his best friend and coworker Barnaby to go to New York.
Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out the brilliantine and
he's only known one town and one job and a few people his whole life, and he wants something more.
He's so incredibly childlike, and I feel like I've always had a more mature spirit about myself, so it's really fun to like try and tap into that kind of more innocent, like everything's new and exciting and scary at the same time kind of feeling. And then he's also just painfully awkward, and I sympathize with that on some level too.
And we won't come home until we've kissed a girl.
Again, you can check out Hello, Dolly by the Oregon Straw Hat Players now through next Saturday. Tickets are available to buy online at oshponline.org.
There's a popular comedian in town too. Cameron Esposito is going to be doing standing-up comedy at the Club on State. She is the co-star of the critically acclaimed comedy Take My Wife and host of the podcast Query, in which she interviews guests and explores issues of gender and equality. She has a sharp act made all the more relevant by the Me Too movement.
And as always, you can pick up a copy of this month's Madison magazine for all of the best in the Madison area. 7:45 is your time. Another sticky, uncomfortable one out there this morning. Chris is back tracking the heat, humidity, and storms on the way. We'll take a live look outside right now as Chris comes into the picture there on the desk. Kind of hazy start out there. Another hot one But first, let's take a look at who's 3 years old today. Happy birthday to Jordan and all the other kiddos turning 3 years old. We're back after this.
Good morning, folks. We've got a lot of cloud cover out to the west this morning. It's also pretty warm as you begin to wake up and step outside. Here's a live look at the Edgewater, showing you the overcast skies that we are looking at. The temperature right now at 74 degrees, mostly cloudy. Dew points are into the upper 60s. So yeah, it's humid as you begin to step out the door on this Sunday. Some places do have dew points into the 70s. Platteville and Mineral Point, Watertown with a dew point at 71. So you're seeing, no matter how you slice it, if you're in south central Wisconsin this morning, it's humid as you step out the door. Temperatures will soar into the low or the upper 80s and low 90s for highs today. But then you factor in the humidity, those heat indices will be into the mid and upper 90s. So outside of cloud cover where that sun is really baking down, yeah, it'll be hot as we get you into the afternoon. So be sure to drink plenty of water. Now, what could be our saving grace is some cloud cover. We are watching some showers and thunderstorms across the eastern parts of Minnesota and Iowa this morning, now crossing into parts of western Wisconsin, and we're essentially updating on the fly here. Initially, model guidance did not show this surviving to reach the western half of the state, but nonetheless, model guidance isn't always the best. But we do have some showers and thunderstorms approaching Platteville right now, and those are working their way eastward. Now, here's the model as we go through the next 3 hours, and it shows that line of showers and thunderstorms really just falling apart before it even makes it into the Madison area. We'll continue to keep a close eye on that, but no, yeah, there's the potential potential for some showers and thunderstorms depending on how that decides to behave. Now, the better chance for showers and thunderstorms does come later on tonight. That's where we do have a slight risk of showers and thunderstorms from Madison and points north. A marginal risk as you work your way to the south and east, but that slight risk does include a large chunk of Wisconsin, especially as you go up to the North Woods. That's a cold front sliding on into town. That's going to bring a few waves of low pressure around it and bring in those chances for showers and thunderstorms not only tonight, but as we go into your Monday as well. So do be aware of that. Essentially, tonight could be pretty noisy with those scattered showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures will hang out in the 70s as they do so. This morning, temperatures going from 73 to 84. Of course, it is muggy out there. We can't rule out that chance of a shower or thunderstorm, especially west where that line is. 90 degrees by the afternoon. Once we get some sunshine in here, it'll be pretty breezy and humid, but then we'll continue to see more in the way of a cool down as we get you into Monday. 80 degrees, still some rain chances will linger through the day on Monday. By Tuesday, a slight chance for rain as well. And we're going to keep things in the 80s as we go really through the next 10 days. So do be prepared for that. Say hello to Hemi in Hollandale. If you are going to be walking your pet today, it'll be pretty steamy this afternoon around 3 o'clock.
Might want to remember, is she got the hat on there? It kind of looks like it.
It looks like there is a hat on there. That's just a nice picture.
That is just a great picture.
Photogenic dog.
All right. Thank you, Chris. We'll stay with News 3 and Channel3000.com today. Tonight at 5:30 and 10. It's moving season. What you should know as students prepare to move out or into new apartments this week. But first, some proof it's never too late to change. A server is paying back money she stole from a restaurant decades later. Hear how the owner is responding next on News 3 This Morning, Sunday. Welcome back at 7:54. Finally this morning, it's proof that a change of heart can happen, and no matter how long it takes, it can be just as sweet.
That's right. We do have this story by Evan Schrader from Arizona.
For 96 years, they've made the walk. Servers shuffling delicious Mexican food to waiting patrons inside the original El Charro on Court Street in downtown Tucson.
Countless employees and the most interesting people.
Too many for owner Carlota Flores to remember. How often do you hear from former employees?
All the time. All the time. I mean, homecoming weekend, truly, here at this restaurant particularly, so many of them come here.
But it's one in particular.
Dear Carlota and family,
Not from an in-person visit, but in a letter
I worked for you as a waitress very briefly back in the 1990s.
that stunned her the most. This one from an anonymous server telling a tough tale of theft.
One of the waiters I work with had encouraged me to forget to ring in a few drinks a shift and pocket the cash.
A bar and restaurant clearly not hurting from the few $100s total taken 20 years ago.
I am very sorry,
But Carlota said she could sense some struggle in the stated words.
but I still carry great remorse.
The letter received Saturday included with $1,000 cash, paying it back with interest.
I felt quite overwhelmed that there's still so many good people. And yeah, bad things do happen, but good do too.
Any questions on the menu so far?
And after 96 years and countless employees, this one is leaving the biggest life lesson.
May God forever bless you and your family, a thankful former employee.
Carlota told me she plans to pay it forward. Still not sure what she'll do with the money, though she hopes it'll grow over the years to help other staff here, like her anonymous author. In downtown near Court and 6th, Evan Schreiber, KOLT News 13, live local late breaking.
Quite the story there.
That is quite the story. I love those stories of just a comeback, you know?
Sometimes, you know, those things, they stay with you until, you know, you have that plan and...
They do. Do good, folks. Do good. Now, we do have a chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms coming into the picture. I've been paying attention to Doppler track for the past couple hours. We've been watching this line move on through. It's finally showing some signs of weakening, which is what we expected it to do before it made it into Wisconsin, but it held on tight for a little bit, and we're going to see just how long it could hold on. Most of those showers should dissipate. A better chance for showers and thunderstorms comes in later on tonight, Josh. Those could be severe.
All right, Chris, thank you, and thanks for joining us. There's Barrett. She's swimming in the pool at the Henry Vilas Zoo. Have a great day.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.